This week we're in north central Florida on the Harris Chain of lakes. And it's been a while since I've fished the Harris Chain. It probably goes back 15, 16 years at least. It's an iconic Florida bass fishery. Not only are there some jumbo fish in this chain of lakes, but the scenery is really cool because of the diversity of cover. It's a chain of lakes. They're all connected by creeks and channels and canals. So you have a diverse background to catch these fish in. Now, my co-host on this show is an old friend, and his name is Dan Richardson. And you've seen him on the show before. We actually did a little 50-50 show, which we did a little bass fishing, we did a little saltwater fishing on the same show. And he's a great angler, and he is amped up. He is packed full of energy, and the guy is a super angler. I appreciate you meeting me this morning, man. This is gonna be pretty cool. So a while back I called in, I said, you got anything going on? He said, well, I might have a little action going on the Harris Chain of lakes. And how far from Claremont are we?
Oh, about 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
Yep.
We're about halfway between Orlando and Ocala?
Yep.
Northwest?
Yeah.
And you know, it's 15 years since I've been on this lake. 15 years. And I assume they still have a few bass in it.
There are some bass here and they eat.
Sounds like a good deal to me. Had a lot of rain, water should be running, which is a big part of the pattern. And y'all stay tuned, I think this is gonna be fun. We're in the middle of August. It doesn't get any hotter than this. It's gonna be Africa hot. And knowing that, most people say, why would you try to film a bass show in the middle of August? Well, because you can, number one. And number two, you've got the potential of catching a giant. I mean a giant in Florida almost any time, especially if you're gonna flip, if the pattern is flipping that you're keying on. And that's what we decided to key on, is a flipping bite, get around some heavy mats, throw in some current, you got the shade factor, cooler water, a little more oxygen, you're setting yourself up for a big bite.
The trick in this little creek here, you got moving water, number one, which is a
Cooler.
good thing to get the bait moving and get the fish excited.
And
But
it's cooler.
And it's cooler, that's right. And the main thing here is finding something different. And it just so happens that the difference here is milfoil, which is a different type of grass than hydrilla. But you want to get some milfoil. You want to get a little Kissimmee grass, as you see what's on top. And then it's the greenest milfoil you can get. If there's some pepper grass around,
I moved one in there.
position alpha. Oh, God. Bring him out, baby.
There you
It's a
go.
toad, isn't it? Nice. Oh,
Not a bad one.
nice job, boss.
Hey,
Look at the combination right there.
look at
We
that
got
chunk,
a little
man.
bit of wood. We got our green milfoil. We got blown over eelgrass. Want to put him in?
Go ahead. Now, Haynes Creek is an interesting place. It is a canopied over, just a giant tunnel, if you will, of cypress trees and Spanish moss, and there's ospreys, there's all kinds of birds and critters, and it is just really a beautiful, beautiful place. It's pretty much all idle now, so idling through there, everything looks so good. There's giant lily pads, there's emergent vegetation, you've got trees in the water, and I told Dan, I said, you know, with this much cover, it's got to be good in here. And the current was smoking through there. It was smoking. It's like a cow.
Nice.
There he is.
Yeah. Sorry for the delayed response. Pretty. You know, the summertime pattern, the heat in the water actually increases their metabolic rate. They'll go farther from their protective cover to eat until the sun gets real hot and high. Then they just got to stay real tight to the cover, because you can see there are no eyelids there, so they got to stay on a spot that has the cover on them. And it doesn't matter how big they are, they can be just as aggressive.
Gypsy Angler with Ray Van Horn is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time.
Bass are pretty much ambush predators in this situation. So you have to look at it from a bass's point of view. And there's a lot of current in there, so you've got to have heavy matted cover, and it's creating also a current break along with the shade, the cooler water. It's also got to set itself up where it's a current break, where the fish, they don't have to fight it real bad, but they can still take a shot at prey if it falls in front of them. You're going to have to flip them out of this stuff. And you're going to set yourself up with heavy flipping gear, heavy braid. You're going to use a heavy punch weight and a creature bait and go to work.
Here, fishy, fishy.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this one's got
A little
some
better one.
shoulders to it.
Oh, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
That's what we're looking for.
That one's pushing 4.
It is. Gosh, you went in 2 foot of water. Nice.
They don't need much.
No, they don't. Look at that.
That's beautiful fish.
Sweet fish. You know what the great thing about these guys are? They got big mouths, but they don't ever talk bad with them.
Well,
Just a perfect hook set right in the top too.
You haven't put her back yet. Wait till she gets down there and starts talking about you. It is so cool. I mean, just imagine, okay, because you got to imagine, because you can't see under these heavy mats. So you speculate and you imagine what it must be like for the bass when he sees that rage bug come through the heavy mat. Day in and day out, if you said, okay, you want to target huge bass and there's only one technique that you could employ, what would it be? For me, that would be flipping real heavy, dense cover. And that's because big fish make a living in those places. Now, there's a lot of heavy cover. You have to dissect heavy cover. So you establish that there are fish in the zone, and then you methodically got to just dissect it. It's tedious, and you've just got to be on your toes constantly, because the next bite could be it. I'd say it was.
You know, we just said we hadn't had a bite in a while. We were going to get some time out for delay of game.
And what was really kind of weird is that you actually said, I think I've got a bite, and I'm just kind of standing there waiting for you to do something.
Yeah, and then here comes this. It's magic.
Way to go, Dan.
Wow.
Give me a bump, man. And here's the blessing that is a Ranger Z 521L. It's quick on its feet. You can cover a lot of real estate fast. And you can see why bass anglers have high performance rigs like this. Now, this is a hybrid. This boat fishes salt and fresh, and you'll see us catching redfish out of it one time and bass out of it the next. It's probably the best all-round purpose boat because it's quick, it's agile, it floats skinny, and you can cover a lot of water in this thing.
There he is. Not a very big one.
Okay.
Oh, he's a good one. Look at that little guy.
You net, Dan?
No, he's just a little guy. He just doesn't know he's small. Nice little fishies.
Give me a scissors.
Crankbait. That is a Strike King Series 5 Citrus Shad.
Scissors, man. Thank you.
The Gypsy Angler with Ray Van Horn is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly.
Danny turns to me and said, listen, out of everything we've fished today, I've got the most confidence in that creek bite. And I said, I do too. And I said, I think we just have to go in and approach it slower, dissect it, and just get more methodical and just get surgical about it. And then it started producing.
Uh-oh.
Come on aboard.
Nice.
Little monkey business.
Property, private property.
Dude, it's a little chunk. A little chunk.
It's a healthy fish. Oh my gosh, it is better than I thought. Look at that thing.
Beautiful.
Did he eat it right on the shore or quite a bit off?
Right on the edge,
Yeah.
upstream side.
That's okay, he was feeding obviously. Sitting there waiting
It's
for
very astute.
your bait. And you got the monkey going on there too?
Space monkey, dude. Now, Dan's fished this place a lot, and we both agreed that just pads alone, that's not going to cut it. Hydrilla or milfoil by itself, that was not going to probably hold many fish. And just wood in the water by itself, you can eliminate all that. Now, if you got all that together, you had pads, you had arrowheads, you had reeds, you had some milfoil and or hydrilla, and if you threw in a stump or two, now you're talking. That's the pattern. Gear for this segment is going to be really simple. Heavy flipping tackle. And I'm using a 7.5 foot. You can get flipping rods anywhere from 7 feet to 8 feet. And now I guess they're even making them bigger than that. I like a 7.5 foot because I can flip and I can pitch. And in this show, we're doing more pitching than we were flipping. But essentially, you've got a 7.5 foot, medium heavy to a heavy action rod, and it's got a very fast tip and a ton of backbone. High-speed bait caster, the reason for the high speed is after I make a presentation and I give it a couple of yo-yos and I don't get bit, I can reel it back super fast, make another presentation. So an 8-to-1 reel, at least a 7.3-to-1 is desirable. The braided line I'm using is a brand new braid by Cortland. Cortland Line Company's got a brand new super slick 8-carrier braid that is awesome. And it's available in a number of colors. This is a dark gray color that I really like. And there's a number of creature baits that I like to use for flipping and pitching. And they're all made by Strike King, by the way. This is a Strike King Rage Bug, and that whole Rage series is just phenomenal. And one thing I really like about Strike King and their soft plastics is this clam pack that they come packaged in. There's a lot of appendages on a Rage product, and the beauty of this is that they're all perfect when they come out of that clam pack. Black and blue flake seem to be the color of choice. And I ended the day on a bug that's really doesn't get a lot of notoriety. And the reason it doesn't get a lot of notoriety is because the pros use it and they don't want you to know about it. I hate to say that, but that's true. This bait is called a Rage Space Monkey. That's right, the Space Monkey. And when you pull it out of the package, these appendages are all together. You just pop them loose, pop the arms loose, like so, and now you have all that freedom of movement. Now, the reason I like this, I could go to a lighter weight. You'll notice that there's a profile difference, subtle, but the Rage Monkey, the Space Monkey, is narrower. This one actually slipped through the cover better, and I could drop down to about a 3/4 ounce lead, and I had a lot of great success on the Rage Space Monkey. So, next time you go flipping, go to your local store and get you some Rage baits, heavy duty trocar flipping hook, Cortland flipping line, 60, 65 pound, and you're set to go.
The Gypsy Angler with Ray Van Horn is brought to you by Bob's Machine Shop. Go fast, go shallow, go efficient. Power Pole, shallow water anchor.
Now there's cover, there's matted cover, then there's dense, heavy, matted, jungle-like cover. Most people take the easy way. They're hitting the edges. And you're gonna pick off a few doing that. But that great biggin, they're in the middle of that thick, most dense briar patch, heaviest, nastiest cover. Going in's a problem, and if you get bit, getting one out of there is not gonna be easy, but you gotta go. Uh-oh. Sounds good.
It's way down in there too.
You feel it?
I do.
Here, let me have the trolling motor. You go ahead and do what you gotta do.
All right, buddy. It might be one like yours. Going in.
You want a snorkel and a mask?
Just
Anticipation. Look at you, man.
they said it couldn't be done,
Look at you.
but we did it.
Look, you still got your bug in his
Still got my
mouth.
bug in his mouth. You try to take my bug from me.
No, it's all right.
Very nice.
Chunk.
You tried to take my bait. Isn't he cute? Nice.
Oh, man, they are in some thick stuff, dude.
He was so far back in there. It was like amazing.
Here come the rain.
Okay.
Nice, Danny.
Ah, gosh. You think of the odds of that. In a tournament, you'd never have that fish.
No.
Go down there. The odds, okay, here's what happens in a tournament. You're in a tournament and you need that fish to finish out a limit or to cull one. You know, you get that bite, you set the hook, you pull it up, you go through all that crap and you come back up with a hook. When you're fun fishing, you come back up with a fish every time. So very often when we fish tournaments, I'll say to my buddy, God, I'm glad I caught that fish. Why? It may be a 2-pound fish. I said, because it felt like a 6-pounder. And if it had come off, all my day would have been, oh boy, I just lost a 6-pound fish.
Yeah, you lost this giant.
Yeah, I mean, it get on your head for a while, after a while.
I'll tell you what, man, we haven't caught any giants today, but for the middle of August in Africa heat, I thought we did all right, dude.
We had to dig a couple of them out, but boy, they came in a boat.
Grinding, man, that's what you got to do, you know? Now it's starting to rain. I'll tell you what, we've had, I don't know, we've caught 8 or 10 fish today, not so bad.
No, not so bad at all.
And got to revisit the Harris chain for the first time in 15 years, so it's been epic. And now we can go outrun this thunderstorm, go have a premium adult beverage and a steak.
That's exactly right.
Let's do it, man.
Thank you, brother.
All right, buddy.
See you.
I'll tell you what, we didn't catch any giant fish. We had a couple of fish that pulled us down, and we'll never know how big those fish were. Could have been a pound, could have been a lot bigger than that. You just don't know. And all that being said, we still made a great day out of it. We caught didn't catch a lot of fish, caught a fair number of fish, and Danny caught one about 4 pounds or so. But you know, that's the thing that keeps you going, because the very next bite could be that giant Florida largemouth, that trophy fish of a lifetime. And that's all about flipping in the state of Florida. Flipping, period, really. And we were really lucky to get the day in, because we closed out just before, I mean, a terrific lightning storm started. So again, I want to thank Dan Richardson for fishing with us and co-hosting the show. Want to throw out a big thank you to Warren Giesel for being our camera boat driver, putting up with our film crew. He's a prince of a man. Thank you, Warren. That was awesome. And Fisherman's Cove. Hey, it's a great place to stay when you all come down from up north. you're going to be around the Leesburg, Tavares, Eustis area, check them out. They got a great RV park too.